Surprisingly, a former WWE superstar isn't returning to the company, which makes this a very interesting video because it seemed like for a minute that person would actually be returning to the company. We're going to have to talk about that. Plus, WWE just did WrestleMania in Las Vegas, and apparently they're trying to do it again. And I think that's a little problematic, but we're going to talk about the details there. And of course, it's Friday, which means we are ready for SmackDown after WrestleMania. And the question is, what does WWE have planned up their sleeves? Well, there's a couple things we know, a couple things we don't know, and for the sake of a fun conversation, we're going to talk about it in today's video. All right, guys, first things first, I think we should actually start off with WrestleMania Las Vegas. This is something to me, personally speaking, I'm not a big fan of. And apparently, WWE is planning a return to do WrestleMania in Las Vegas, according to Andrew Baydala, who I think has been awesome when it comes to stuff like this. His work has appeared in many places. I follow him on social media. He's a great dude. He's come out and said that WWE is actively exploring a return to Las Vegas for a future WrestleMania, possibly within the next 3 to 5 years. Now, sources from WWE did say that they were actually very satisfied with WWE's WrestleMania 41 at Allegiant Stadium. Basically, WWE killed it, right? We're not dumb. We know how WWE operates. We saw them with all of this fancy schmancy talk about record gates and money and sponsorships and this and that. Listen, I'll say this: Allegiant Stadium is a beautiful stadium. I'll give them props. I think Allegiant Stadium was beautiful. Las Vegas is the world's tourism spot, at least for the United States. It's filled with tourism. WWE obviously found a lot of success there, and I get it. However, in the next 3 to 5 years, I don't want to see WWE return to Las Vegas after just doing it. And I know Nick Khan previously had talked about even returning to Philly. I understand that WWE is thinking of, okay, this place was very successful. It was a great venue. There was a lot of great momentum that we captured from the event there, and it's easy to go back. I argue, though, that WWE should not do that. I think WWE needs to go to different markets for WrestleMania. And the reason why I think WWE needs to go to different markets for WrestleMania is because repetitiveness sometimes could be an issue. Obviously, Las Vegas is a huge tourism spot, so I understand why that's like in the conversation, but I don't think it's a logical spot for them to keep doing a WrestleMania every few years. Same thing with New Orleans. Like I know they're going back next year for New Orleans, and I love New Orleans, and I was there for WrestleMania 34. But just 4 years prior to that, they did WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. At some point, it's going to get repetitive, especially because a lot of people who do go to WrestleMania tend to use it as their excuse to go on vacation. So you got to go to different places, give people a different experience every single time. And that continues to make it an even bigger deal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, pictured here is Aleister Black, but that's not all that is planned for WWE's SmackDown after WrestleMania. You guys saw WWE Raw. You are very aware of what WWE Raw looked like. You guys know that WWE Raw was an incredible spectacle for a lot of fans because, yes, it only had 3 matches, but there was a lot of storytelling, a lot of surprises, and a lot of big moments on the show. And that brings us to WrestleMania SmackDown. And this is really huge because WWE has already kind of emptied the mag. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we just saw Rey Fenix join SmackDown. They've been airing the vignettes of Aleister Black. What other surprises could they have? Now, obviously, Aleister Black is confirmed for tonight's SmackDown. Makes a lot of sense. I'm with it. I like it. I support it. I think he's going to do far greater under Triple H than he ever did under Tony Khan. So I support this 1,000,000%. However, what I will say is there are some rumors that tonight is the night that Jeff Cobb debuts on SmackDown. Not only Jeff Cobb debuting on SmackDown, but there's also word going around that multiple NXT call-ups will be featured on the show. Now, in the previous week, we have covered Trick Williams and Lola Vice being two of the names that have been rumored to get called up. Ethan Page is rumored to be called up. There are a lot of names in NXT appear to have called up. Basically, it sounds like WWE is ready to make a big splash tonight. Now, I'm going to say this. In my most humble and honest opinion, I don't know if WWE is going to load SmackDown up as well as they did with Raw. I just don't know if I see that happening. And that is somewhat of a problem because you already sparked a ton of interest immediately after the whole John Cena, The Rock, Cody Rhodes thing happened, right? Like now there's drummed up interest because of the fact that WWE really made a big splash for Raw. So I would go as far as saying that they should make a big splash today. I don't know if I have a lot of confidence in WWE for tonight's episode. And I'm not trying to be like negative about it. It's just SmackDown kind of takes a little bit less. I think SmackDown gets a little bit less love than Raw does. And that's because Raw is on Netflix, SmackDown is on the USA Network. You know, SmackDown is a guaranteed 3 hour show. I do want them to go back to 2 hours. I don't think that's going to happen, but you guys never really know in this situation. That's where things kind of become interesting, and that's where I'm really excited to see what happens. But for sure, Aleister Black is there, which is exciting. We'll see what other surprises they have. Do you guys have confidence in WWE? Let me know. Do you guys want more videos like this? Click subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, and we're making waves. I appreciate the support, guys. All right. It appears that Brie Bella apparently isn't coming back to WWE. I was actually really fascinated by this news because we saw Nikki Bella return. There's talks of Evolution 2. Nia Jax was just talking to Brie and Nikki on their show. Basically, Brie Bella has revealed that WWE hasn't called her. This is really strange. WWE hasn't called her. Obviously, we know that Nikki Bella has been in communications with WWE. Brie Bella, on the other hand, has not been in communications with the WWE, and it sounds like it could be a major reason as to why. Now, obviously, I'm purely speculating, but Brie Bella is married to Bryan Danielson, who is actively working for AEW. There was rumors at one point that Brie Bella would actually go to AEW. That never happened. And there was talks and rumors that Nikki and Brie were both going to show up in AEW, and that never happened. Now, Nikki Bella is in a little bit of a different situation than Brie. Because of the fact that they're twins, obviously that makes a lot of sense, and there's a lot of talk about that. But with Nikki Bella not having any ties to AEW whatsoever, it seems like WWE would be more willing to bring her back than to bring back Brie Bella. Now, what I want to say is this, and I think this is probably the most interesting aspect of it. I think they should bring back Brie Bella. Nikki and Brie should be on Raw or SmackDown, and I don't want to see them like part time or whatever. I want to see them like actually on the show doing their thing. Um, there's a women's tag team division that needs more tag teams. I think that's exactly where they should be. They were part of the era that didn't have that opportunity to go after women's tag team titles, so obviously there's a reason for that. You have Evolution 2 happening in the summer. It just makes sense to have them. They've been very successful even without professional wrestling, so why would you not take advantage of that? But who knows? WWE hasn't called her. She revealed this on their podcast, on their talk show with Nia Jax, and nobody really knows what's going to happen here. I do think Nikki will return. I don't think Brie will. Who knows? I would like to see both of them together, though. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show. I appreciate you guys all for watching, and I'll see you next time.